Okay, let's try this again. Hi, my name is Joe. Um, I'm starting a vlog to talk about. I want to talk about a couple of things. I want to talk about. I definitely want to talk about my adoption. I'm a Native American adoptee. I was raised in a white home, so I actually didn't find out I was Native until probably I was like 9 or 10. um, so that was kind of, it answered some questions. I think like I'd always kind of wonder like who am I? Um, why don't I belong here, or why do I feel like I don't belong here? And so I want to talk about like my adoption experience. Um, the second reason why I wanted to start a vlog is because I was diagnosed with a mental illness. Um, I was hospitalized in May of 2009, and after being observed and um, undergoing like treatment and stuff like that, they eventually diagnosed me with schizo-affective disorder. Um, and basically, I don't agree with the current medical model of um, understanding like mental illness as solely a product of chemical imbalance. Um, I believe in kind of the native way of understanding health as crossing like the mental, the emotional, the physical, and then the spiritual. So I do kind of see health more in that regard. So to my understanding, um, what I had going on during the time that I was quote unquote psychotic, um, I believe I had a spiritual sickness. Um, at that time, when I started hearing the voices and having the delusions and all that stuff, I had been contemplating suicide. I was really struggling with my identity. I kind of I didn't like the fact that I was colonized and culturated, that I was too white, um, and I wanted to die. I didn't want to be in this world anymore. I didn't for whatever reason. I've always kind of struggled to find balance. Um, and I've gone through like various ways of trying to understand like, okay, what does this mean, like to be a mixed blood person. I really struggled with that because there's racism from the white people and there's racism from the native people, and I don't know, um, you get called nice things like slight blood when you're mixed, and it's like, okay, whatever. Um, I think what really matters and what creator ends up seeing is your spirit. Um, and like people get sucked into like these just stupid um, things, and stupid ideas, stupid mentalities, whatever. And at that time, at the end of May, I came to a point where I was like, fuck it, I don't want to be here anymore. And somehow, I think I knew. I think I knew like something was gonna give. Um, of course, what gave and what ended up happening was I, ended up hearing these voices, and I ended up delusional, and So yeah, I want a chance to kind of talk about that and comb through it and um, sort of to explain it to the world. Um, I just came to the conclusion that if I don't share these experiences, if I don't talk about them, if I don't put them out there, uh, that I'm basically gonna lose out. I have a chance to, one, educate people, definitely about like transracial adoptions, um, definitely to educate people about like mental illness, and how basically the current model of, oh, there's chemicals in your brain that went wacky and that's why you're having, whatever. I just don't think that understanding covers, everything that mental illness actually entails, which I believe I believe for me it was like a spiritual sickness. Um, and so yeah, that's kind of my understanding is I had a spiritual sickness that manifested itself through, you know, looking like a mental illness. Um, and of course, I was forced to treat it with drugs. I was pumped full of sedatives and antipsychotics, and I had been taking like Abilify and Lexapro religiously for um, probably about a year after that, um, and then I stopped taking the meds because I just kind of got to the point where like I'm like, goddamn, I'm just sick of having to take these meds every damn day, and so I stopped taking them. And I went through withdrawal, and eventually I got over it. Um, I got back to myself. I tried to go to school for a while. That didn't quite work out. I tried to have a relationship with somebody, and that didn't work out. And so I was trying to put my life back together though after this hospitalization and after like being forced to live in group residential housing, and I finally got to a point now where I'm living on my own again. Ding ding. Probably there's people out there that are like, oh, that's a really bad idea for you, honey. Like whatever. But I just kind of feel like now that I'm on my feet again, it's time to start talking about this stuff and trying to educate people. Um, you know, I definitely feel like when I was hospitalized, in particular, that that I was not allowed to advocate for myself. I had friends that were trying their damnedest to advocate for me, and the doctors wouldn't listen to them. Um, and there was all kinds of just trouble uh, because I was trying to get it so that my best friend could make like medical decisions for me and stuff like that, and basically be able to put a stop to them forcing me to be on so many sedatives and so many antipsychotics. But sadly, we weren't able to do that. They didn't really honor that. Um, I don't know. I just think the medical establishment has all kinds of like issues that they need to work on, and so too with the whole adoption thing. I think the system, the social workers, and other people definitely have a lot of work to do, and I think um, I don't like to speak badly, but I think my parents had a lot of shit that they could have possibly done to make my adoption more successful. That they either were like, oh, we didn't know, or oh, we didn't know to get help or whatever until it was too late, and then I was like, okay. So basically, I want to make sure that I tell my story so that, like, in the future, people don't have to be, you know, going through the stuff that I went through the way that I went through it. Because it was really hard. So, yep, this is my first vlog, and as I said, the topics are gonna be my adoption and my mental illness, and I think those two things are somewhat related. Um, if I hadn't been transracially adopted, I might have a little bit more of a solid identity, I think, as a Native person to fall back on. But since I was adopted, I totally kind of missed out on that, and that definitely brought on the suicidal feelings. And I don't know. Basically, during my psychosis, I was told, guess what? You don't get to kill yourself because we need you to come back and talk about this shit. You know, we need you to come back and talk to the elders and teach the people and basically talk about everything in your life that got so messed up, and this is kind of my way of doing that. So, miigwech Pisundawe, thank you for listening. All my relations.